Hello, people. What's going on? Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Time is around 2 a.m. here, and I'm doing this extra video. If you feel like watching, you can watch it. It's like daily vlogging or podcast that I'm doing nowadays. I just did one list of fragrances from Middle Eastern houses, so you can check that out. That's the fragrance content. But this second episode, I want to talk about anger, and how it's destroying us, in real life, and the impact of it, and what we can do to safeguard ourselves and save ourselves basically from disaster, because anger never ends well. Whatever actions that you do out of anger, I'll give you a few examples that I just read yesterday from the news, and got very devastated. It's like, I am not pretending, but I literally was shocked by, even in 2025 mid, how people are so heartless, how people can be so cruel. There's an incident in India. um, I'll share the story with you. But mostly the anger, it's very, very bad. Anger is bad for your physical health, mental health, as well as people around you, and most importantly, you yourself, right? So I actually can relate, because I am a very short tempered guy. I do have, issues. Maybe since I was young, so I always, like, from my family, I got my father, my uncle's side, everybody had high BP, diabetes, and all that. I inherited that, as well as they have short fuse, like they get angry. And I've seen like them, we used to be like, in our childhood, we would be like scolded, beaten up. So they would scream at us, if we didn't do our studies and all that. So we did face anger, and it sort of like carries, like whatever you were treated as, in childhood, it affects you. And you, unless you can do brilliant job with yourself and you can change, or you can be having good company and stuff, you can change. But mostly anger causes a lot of trouble. Let's just go one by one, and the impact of it and how we can deal with it, right? So let's say people are so angry. Let me give you some examples. Like, I do this fragrance line work, right? And sometimes I see things, I do not understand why people are doing this. Simply speaking, I go to Fragrantica, for example, and I see a fragrance is released. And let's say this is the most annoying thing, one of the things we all agree that, sometimes it's happening, like Rasa sees Hawas. There are just way too many flankers in such a short time. I get upset because I cannot keep up with the pace that, I bought just one today and tomorrow another one is released, right? But I do not go angry, because there's no point of anger. I mean, why would I get angry? I can get upset a little bit because, let's say, if I have to buy them all and I have to create content, so it's like I don't get to take a break. But I'm not going to go to that point of anger. I'm going to curse at them. Hey, why are they making so much? This is so disgusting, blah blah. They are not harming anybody. All I need to do, all anybody needs to do, is stay away from the line. Don't fall for the hype. And if you're annoyed with it, just say that, I don't want to see this content, this type of content. You know what I mean? But on Fragrantica, people go like, not just this particular perfume, like they don't like a house, they don't like particular line, and they will share their anger and hatred with passion. These two things is not a good combo with passion, because people will literally like want to use all the vile words, or say the strong words, or the terms that it's not really kind, that they will use that to express their anger. I don't like this. How come they're making so much dupe, and they are not really respecting the creators, creativity. They're just making dupes after dupes and for cheap, and the companies are losing money. I understand that you respect certain brands and what they're trying to do, and it's definitely intellectual property, but everybody's doing it. It's a trend right now. You cannot stop it. So it's a legal thing, like, they are not making fakes. They're making dupes, which is a big market right now, compared to very expensive niche brands or designer brands, which people cannot afford sometimes. They want like alternative, right? Alternative as in, like, let's say Louis Vuittons. People cannot afford to pay $400, $500, $700 per bottle. It's not possible. It's like equivalent to someone's salary. So instead of, like, super strong emotions, because you love certain, let's say you're a big fan of Louis Vuitton, you have so much money, you are very rich, up class, and you drive a Ferrari, you have a bungalow, and you are well off, you live in a very expensive city or Dubai or somewhere, right? You can enjoy your game. Let people enjoy their game. Like, people will buy what they can afford or what they like. You cannot force people to like or dislike or boycott certain things. If you want to boycott, you boycott, no problem. It's a free world, right? But on most part, people, what they do is they just get very carried away, and they get very, very up close with their confrontation, or with the people, like they start fighting. I see in my group, like some people literally, like with so much passion, man, I hate this fragrance, what they're doing, I absolutely hate it, and so much anger I can tell from the writing. So my guess is, like, some people, they are frustrated sometimes with other things in life, like others happening in their life, other things that's happening, and they don't who deal with those things very well. Let's say work, family stress, personal level, like so many things happen, like loans, financial stress, all the stress combined, they try to look for a place where they can do the green mile thing, like they sort of like exhaust, so they feel better after taking out the anger. But in general, they never feel better, because when you are angry and you still hold it, you can only feel better when you, like, let's say, it's okay, let go, it's just silly, then you compromise with it, you tell yourself. But we have a tendency, we have a bad tendency, we have to think about it, how people get us frustrated. Sometimes we say that, right? Like some people are, oh my god, that person gets onto my nerves. Sometimes we say, that person really, really gets me angry. The moment I see his face, I just get like, my day is ruined. So why is that? Because of our attachment. We love, to go very close to people, or love very quickly. Think about this, right? Let's say you watch a reviewer, fragrance reviewer, content creator. At one point you love them and you think like they're so good, they're so beautiful, they're so amazing. But at one point, you don't like them. Suddenly, it's very normal. Nowadays we love, and from love we can hate very quickly. It's like two sides of the same coin. Essentially, the love and hate shouldn't be the same coin. I just think it's wrong, because if you can hate, someone, you never loved them. Okay, you never liked them in the first place. If you truly liked or loved someone, you would not hate them. You would feel, okay, I'm feeling a little bit stressed, but it's okay, I will just let go of the person, unsubscribe from them, but I will not feel, let's say, what, angry or agitated. Let them carry on with their, on the merry way, let them be happy. It's just like not matching my taste. Let's say they are hyping certain house in Dubai. It's not, I'm not liking that. I'm thinking it's paid review, I'm thinking it's a fake content, or it's just hype for nothing, TikTok, this and that, because they got paid. If you feel that way, you can do just one click, unsubscribe. You don't have to stay related to them. Some people stay related to those channels, and they take out their frustration every single day. I'm not saying you don't have a right to do it, but literally, I don't know a person, and I suddenly see a comment like this. Some people call me like, hey, you're not straight, you are this person, you are a devil, blah blah, and then they say that you are paid agent by these companies, and you go to the shops because they pay you. They don't know anything about me, yet they do these comments because they feel they won't take out the anger, right? So whose fault is it? Yeah, it is perhaps like not ethical. Let's say let's say your favorite reviewer, Jeremy, right? People know that what he's doing right now is not the same work that he used to do somewhere, like 10 years back. Okay, when he started off, was young and everything, he was normal, he was a sweet person, that even though he was doing paid, but it was more of a enjoyable content, rather than his jumping on the table, wearing his briefs and stuff, and then acting like crazy. So if I don't like, for example, this Jeremy, I don't recognize him at all, but I understand that maybe things happen. People cannot deal with certain stress or money sometimes, or they go through difficulties, breakups and stuff. But I understand, like, something must have happened to them. So that's the change, right? So they must have gone through the transition due to certain things. So I don't follow these reviewers. As a matter of fact, I don't watch any reviews, not out of like hatred or jealousy. I just don't think watching some content, everything interests me. I make my own content, I upload it, and I look at other fragrance. I enjoy my game, so I have very slots, like very organized way, right? So you can don't go to attach to people too quickly. Okay, get to know them, and do not try to think like they're gonna do exactly what you feel like you want them to do. People are different, bro. Like, people are their own lives, they own their own lives, they have their own priorities they're gonna do, right? So that hatred will come only when you're very close to people. You go very close to them, and then suddenly you feel like, this person is like, I don't know him, and then maybe the other person is gonna get a little bit uncomfortable, like, you within 2 months he wants to be your best friend, right? Does that happen? Some people, they want to get so desperately, like friendship, relationship, and they think like, I can depend on this person, I'll do so much for this person. And what it will result in, it will cause anger. So the story I was trying to tell you, it broke my heart. In India, recently, one couple got married and they went for honeymoon or something. I don't exactly remember the story, but what happened was the guy, the groom, uh, was found, lifeless, and they were looking for the culprits. Okay, who did this? Because he's just got married. He's a young, successful businessman or something. Like he's a sweet guy. You can see from his pictures. He's like nice guy, and then he married this girl, and they just like on honeymoon or something. I don't remember exactly, but later police found out that the wife, recently married wife, she hired like professionals to get this thing done, and she got arrested because of certain phone call or something. She got busted. So here is my point. I don't know the whole story. Okay, I don't want to judge without knowing the full story, but there was other part of the story that said she actually had a lover for a very long time, and then she had to marry or marry this other guy, and then she was upset and she just wanted to get rid of him. So my question is this: I mean, in this world, when I read this news, it became normalized. If we see some horrible news, people being horrible, we're like, oh, that's normal. That's not new normal. This has been normalized for a very long time. Worldwide destruction happening, we're just normal. It's okay. What's happening, and it's okay. So we are used to so much, like, how to say, toxicity in the world. To us, these are normalized things. If we see some good things, we just laugh. Sometimes we are that bad. We are that bad as human beings. Let's say I see many videos where there's kindness videos, and people out there in the comment section, they're writing like, oh, if you're giving away money, why you make a video of it? You don't have to show off. Sometimes, you rescue animal, they go like, these people I see, they're very intelligent. I talk about this all the time, intelligence versus kindness. They're so intelligent. They say like, hey man, you saved that animal just to have a media, like, how to say, praise or clap or something. You didn't do it for, you did it for money, views, blah blah. So my point is, what's the reason for people to judge people in negative way? Even if you do good things, you are going to be made fun of. Let's say you do a kind gesture or a fun video, you did it with your family or something, they'll call you dumb, right? So this is the problem with the world. People are so cruel, right? So my whole point about that story in India, the couple, let's say, even though I don't know the whole story, but apparently the guy who married her, he didn't do anything to her unless the whole investigation comes out. But my point is, if let's say in India it happens in our subcontinent that people are forced to marry someone because of their status from the family pressure. In foreign lands you are free to marry whoever you want, but in Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, a lot of mishap happens. Okay, let's say you are in a relationship with someone, boy or girl, and then you love someone, but their family status is not very good. They're not very rich, or the guy is not working, or the girl is not from the same caste, stuff like that. Even few days back in Pakistan, one 17-year-old TikToker girl, she had been taken down by one of our relatives. So these are the newses every day we see. So my question is, this girl, let's say she was forced to marry. You can go divorce. You can tell that guy that I love someone else, and then I don't want to continue. So yeah, it's going to be difficult for the guy, for the other family, and it will be chaotic, right? But you take someone's life. Was he trying to harm you? All he was trying to do maybe is just try to give you a home, try to give you a family, has dreams and stuff. If he was an abuser, I don't know, but they just got married. So for me, what I don't understand, if you don't like the person, you can also always walk away. So why don't people choose peace over, violence? This is my question, right? So much anger and hatred, people will go extreme. I have seen people stay in relationships years after years with the toxicity. They always fight, arguments. They literally fight till the end of their energy, and then in the end they say, okay, fine, I'll stay. It's like there's a certain term, in psychology, but people do prefer to stay in toxic relationship because they feel it's easier than a divorce, or they feel like it's convenient. uh, Rather than moving is going to be difficult. I'm used to, oh yeah, we are so used to, this person, even though they're toxic, but we choose to stay with them in the toxic relationship because we love this life. Yeah, people are like that sometimes. They will not let you go. They will not go, but they will not let you be happy. They will not love you. They will not care for you, and they will always like love someone else, but they will say no, I want to stay here, and they will make you, other partner, insane as well. So people become mentally, unwell, right? So Why don't people have empathy? You stayed with a person for this many years, this many months, and let's say it's not always bad memories, right? There's some good memories, there's some good times. For the sake of that, if you really cared for a person, aren't you a decent human being that you tell them with full closure, like, I'm done with you, like, let's not get angry, no anger, no hatred, just, I don't have this feelings for you, it's going to be difficult, but it's the right decision as adults. So nowadays I don't see that. People just suddenly have a quarrel, just suddenly have issue, and then start blame game, and everybody has to be blamed, everything has to be in the court settled, even not in just our country, states, that Johnny Depp case, you guys know, Amber Heard, right? So it went there and it gets ugly. So from a family it gets ugly, right? So you guys tell me, is this something that you really want to do, drain your energy? Isn't your time precious, like ladies and men both, right? Instead of hitting each other, fighting with each other, beating each other up, or abusing physically, like verbally, orally, and name calling and everything, you do so much damage to the other person. You just know that they're going to be damaged and they're going to change. Even though they were normal ones, they wouldn't be normal. And I can sometimes understand this because I went through this many times. I was in this kind of messed up relationships with the friendship and everything, family. So I am not from the best, most positive background, but I can appreciate peace. Like, I choose to walk away from something which I don't see a future with. I don't see respect in there. I don't see like honesty there. Like, every single relationship, friendship, if you feel that person or those people are not treating you with respect and they don't really think of you as highly as they show, what's the point of staying there? Would you stay somewhere where you are not respected, loved, or being honest to? I personally feel it's a waste of time, and those people are just your worst enemies. Because what are enemies? Like, in broad daylight, those people who don't like you, they badmouth about you, they always try to harm you. These are enemies, right? But the worst enemy are the people who stay apparently by your side, in your family, in your friend circle, in your, like, let's say, cousins and whatever, but they hate you. And one time, if you can actually catch it, you can understand it. I think it's time that you call them like quits, like, it's okay, like, just slowly walk away, disappear. You don't even have to give any reason, right? I think in that way you'll find peace. I think people are very scared to be alone nowadays. Like, I saw this saying somewhere that real people are very alone or lonely. They don't have as much friends, and as you get older, you lose. You have very small friend circle or no friends at all. But people with, like, apparently very nice people, popular people, smiling people, and likable, and everybody loves them. How is it possible that everybody likes a person? I don't understand that. I'm a very raw person. Yes, I have bad and good, but I'm upfront. Even if I'm narcissistic, I can come to terms of it. Let's say I made a mistake. If someone accuses me, like, you were abusive in your relationship, or let's say you were dishonest, or you used someone, I can understand. I can come to terms of it. I can definitely agree. I will, if someone accuses me and it's true. I actually think the one of the big steps to become a better person, not the best person but better person, is that you have to like, admit when you're wrong. If you can do that, that honesty and that guts, that will make other people appreciate you, respect you. Even, let's say, you have, let's say, committed a crime, and you say there's no proof, but people catch you, did you do this? And you go like, yeah, I did it and I'm willing to do the time, right? Yes, people will say you're a criminal, everything is true, that you will get backlash, but at the same time, if you say sorry and you really mean it, it's very important. You say sorry and you mean it to people you have done wrong to. It is huge in impact. Okay, we don't understand these little things. We just don't care. We just say something and we don't understand, like, what is the impact of our word. Once it leaves our mouth, it's like bullet, it cannot be taken back. Some people, they say sorry, but they actually don't mean the sorry for you. They mean the sorry, they are sorry to themselves. Their ego was hurt. Let's say they say, hey, I'm sorry that I make you going through this and everything, and you feel like, oh, so sorry, it's okay, I also am sorry. If it's genuine, you can actually move on from that point and you can forgive and forget. But if you hold grudge, okay, that anger, it will always taunt you, and you always constantly like, what did I do wrong, where did I go wrong, is it their fault, my fault? And you'll be always like, this thing cooking in your head. Your brain won't be relaxed, right? So I feel it's very important that to sort out, sometimes you don't seek validation, you don't seek let's say, closure, because some people will not give it to you. They are bad people. Okay, you don't expect decency, honesty, loyalty from cheap people. These people are sick. They will be with you all their lives, and yet they will lie to you. I had friends like this. Okay, younger brothers, sisters, friend, exes. The thing is, after you are with certain person for so long, you expect them to be at least a decent human being. Let's say they are not the best friend of yours, but in the during time of need, when you are not well, you expect them to be there because you consider them as your friend. Such a long history. Let's say your best friend. You think like, in time of, let's say, bad time, you just call them like, can I talk to you for a while, or maybe, I need something to, share. And they're like, we're busy. They ghost you and stuff. You see, the critical times, people show their true face, and it's very difficult for us to deal with it because sometimes we are very dependent, we are very emotionally invested in them, right? I don't think it's a very good practice from ourselves. I feel if we feel weak and we feel like if we lose this person, we cannot be, we cannot sustain, survive. Ask yourself again, when you didn't know these people, weren't you doing fine? Weren't you doing great? Weren't you excelling in your work? So why would you change it now? Understand, you go through, you are grief, you're in grief, right? You are grieving, right? You lost someone. It's okay, you will lose family members, friends, partners, but will you let it destroy your life? Isn't your life precious? Don't you have contributions to do to other people? Let's say you feel your life is ended, but with your, contribution, let's say you're a writer, don't you think the world deserves a nice novel from you? If you are a filmmaker, you should give like a one more great film that people will appreciate. It's not always about us, right? So the anger, it is never, a good, trait or a thing to hold. Regret, another thing, right? So I think you come to terms of it, be realistic, more or less. If you're realistic, then you can actually deal with the terms better, and never be fake. You can never be fake person and be happy in this world. A lot of people are fake, including me. Sometimes, I show you that I'm good, I'm just strong and everything, but I go through stuff, and then I have to make content and work because it's my work. But inside, maybe I was not well, I still admit it, I have been done wrong and everything. I'm still hurting. People like, hey, don't show that. I show it because it will take certain time to deal with it, and then you move from there to the next point. Then you're gonna be okay somewhere, like 1 year from now or something. But it tells me one thing, that I am a human. I'm not just a deceiving person. I'm seeking revenge. I'm trying to hurt them, play games continuously, or evil. I'm this person here, and somewhere else I'm something else, And my total two faces. I'm a two-faced person. I don't think that gives me any pleasure, and it does give me any productivity, right? So once you are honest and you are a good person, yeah, sometimes you may feel like I've been betrayed. My time was precious, and it will get you angry. But at one point, you realize that once people used you, or they told you fake hopes, fake things, and they were not really honest about it, even after so many years, it was not your fault. When you're the victim, it's a good thing. They showed you that they didn't deserve you, like your friends, whoever it is. And let's say you are in good shape at one point, suddenly you go to a certain point of your life that you're famous, you're rich, you're successful, and then they come back and try to say, I'm sorry. And, like, can we just talk again? Never give chances to those people again. Once they betrayed you, once they cheated on you, they'll always do the same, right? So don't hold the anger. I think the best thing is uh, think, like absorb it. You absorb the pain. Yeah, in this world, nothing is really fair nowadays, but don't hold the anger. Forgive, don't forget, and that's it. Move on from that place. It's just indifference. There's just like a place where you go, there's just no strings attached no more, and they can never ever touch you again. You can be that strong, and you can be so much better, you can be so much wiser in life, and you can move on. I motivate myself every day. I watch a lot of podcasts and everything, and I understand, seeing so many things, where I went wrong. I also am trying to correct it. Of course, I have a lot of flaws. I'm not a great partner. Perhaps I'm not a very good, maybe a friend or anything. I have very small, like short temper, little patience. So I need to improve upon on these. And also sometimes, I am having a little bit of complex. Sometimes I feel I'm superior to certain people when I see them like they are doing something. I feel like, we are humans, right? We do have shortcomings, so we do need to work on things. Instead of blaming one way, we have to accept, like, let's say, of course I had my flaws. I did say in one of my videos my reason for didn't work out the last, it didn't work out in the last relationship was I was addicted to this game. I told you open, it's like with full disclosure. I put priority to fragrance work like workaholic. I am like addicted to this game, reviewing, trying new fragrances, sharing, and then staying active with the whole fragrance game community. And it's not to do a bad thing, because it's my passion. This is what I really, really, it drives me. It keeps me alive. Okay. Yes, the addiction is bad sometimes. Buying too many fragrances, don't have enough money, save for other important things. So you feel pressurized in the last 10 days per every month, and you cannot, buy things that you want. It's also bad. But if you're true to something, you can adjust the game. Let's say fragrance game, I can adjust. I can still do my work, and also can do other things which are in priority, right? So maybe I can be a better listener. Sorry, I can be a better what else? Person. Like, I can see my fall through. Let's say someone blame you, like, they say you don't have sensitivity, then I would be like, okay, instead of fighting or haha, I can just simply say, okay, fine, I understand. If the most important point is people to be mature and they are good and honest people, you can always change for them. You can always be a better person for them, because you're inspired to, right? So whatever field you are, if you see certain people are good but they're not your type and you don't like their faces, you always fight with them, right? You hate them. But at one point, if you understand, like, not everybody's going to be the same, right? Everybody has their own, characteristics. Some people like tea, some people like coffee, right? Not everybody has to be like you, right? If you can accept it and maintain a little bit of distance, which is very important, that is the respect. We don't want to go too close to people, too much, like happiness. Oh, I blind trust them. Why do you blind trust anybody? You can trust yourself, you can trust your family, perhaps you can trust God. But a stranger, if you trust too fast and you give out yourself, like, hey, no problem, I'll do everything, I'll go for them 0 to 100 in a second, but you see the other person is like not really appreciating. They are thinking like you are too obvious, you are too desperate, you're too needy. People don't appreciate that, people don't respect it, right? So be good, at the same time also be good to yourself, just like you're good to others. So when you have your own forte, you have your own career, your own work, your own worth, and self-care, you give yourself treat, you spend alone time, you're okay. If you're strong here in your own, this place, and other people, when they see you, they'll respect you a lot, and they'll respect your privacy space. And if they ask you, like, say, can we meet up for coffee today, and you say, today I have something to do, and maybe day after tomorrow or 3 days from now, they will not push you no more. They will respect, that you are busy, right? So people who have something, people value their, like, status, their career, who they are. And let's say they are just trying to relax in the weekend, spend some quality time alone, you respect that. So that is beautiful. So I think overall, in a nutshell, or coming to an end of this video, uh, our fellow human beings in society, let's not push them so much. If you like someone, if you follow someone, if you feel these people, I like them, I would like to be friends with them, go slowly, go with respect, and then respect their privacy. And let's say you got married, that's very huge. Nowadays I don't see marriage as a very strong, like as before 90s 80s, those times are different. People used to spend lifetime together. Nowadays divorces are very simple, breakups are so simple. People just do it like this, like it's so easy. It's not just like money, it's also about business. Sometimes it's about thinking the other side the grass is greener. But when you live with a person, it has to be a big decision, like, because you're going to be staying with them in the same room. You cannot pretend no more. You cannot be like this other person that you say so cool and hip. Other people don't know 100%, but the person you live with, they will know exactly how great you are and how full of poo poo you are. And if they see you, let's say the guy sees the other, like her, without makeup every day, and then with her real temper, outside she may be so kind, right? But inside the house, maybe not so much. Maybe she's not a great mother, and maybe she is always, fighting, treating everything, abusing everybody badly. It will have an impact. You cannot bond with a person when she's mean to you. If, say, you might think guys are abusive, women also abusive sometimes. They hit their partners, they say most mean things to belittle them, let's say they underestimate them. How these guys feel? Do they feel attraction to them? No. So you have to really think before making someone's life. It's a big mistake, to move in with someone and you pretend that you'll care for them, love them. Don't enter a relationship if you don't have any feelings for them. It's the most cruel thing you can do. And I am guilty of it sometimes. I did this. I There was a time I was forced to be in a relationship because someone liked me so much, and I felt, they like me so much, so I should reciprocate, if that's the word. And then I actually changed myself. I was once a careless guy. I didn't want to be in a relationship. Then I changed. I saw her behavior and I'm like, she cares. At one point I really became dependent on her. All my work, I would tell her update on my life every day. I would send her a message, I'm doing this, I'm going to have lunch now, because she liked it. It's a sick thing. Like, she wants to know every time where you are. But in general, you don't have to do it. You have to be a little bit more strict. But sometimes we love some people, and then logic is not really like there no more. If they say leave your work, I would leave my work, no problem. But once you see that they are not willing to do the same thing they ask you to do, then slowly you start thinking like, what am I doing here? Our destination is not the same. She's telling me like, I want to see your phone, who called you? But when I ask who's that guy, she's like very secretive and she goes angry and she feels cornered when asked. They feel very, how to say, attacked, right? So those are not good signs, right? So people are not happy at one place, they still stay there. This is the problem. So I think you are the one who's responsible for your happiness. Whatever you like, let's say you want to relax in Perfume games, and you enjoy it, man. I met someone today who knocked me and said, brother, I am very inspired by your work, and I started doing Instagram videos, and your work is really inspiring. So we talk in inbox, and I think she's a very genuine person. I see a collection, and she is very sweet person. Like, she is, the way she is describing fragrances and talking about perfumes, it shows she found a new love for perfumes, and I can respect that. So these are things. Be very honest with yourself. Maybe the life of honesty is not the most nicest, sweetest, or bed of roses that you can enjoy every single day. Trust me, in the fake life, you can having like the best day of 7 days a week. Every day you go out, you are happy, you are having a date, you are spending money, you are eating good. But in honest life, life is not as flashy. One time it will hit you like, how do I say this? Honest earning, honest living, or doing it on your own is so much more challenging when you are, instead you are in, like, you are dependent on someone for happiness. Once that person is gone, it's so much more difficult, but you have to do it. You have to live on. Then you'll be like looking at back and you'll be like all empty, all the things that feel empty and difficult. That's not the way, bro. Okay, so be a stronger person. Being angry is a weakness. I am telling myself every day. I still get angry, but I try to recover from this quickly. So if you're an angry person, you're angry, you blame everybody, it's not going to solve the problem. You're going to be so much in trouble, right? I'm realizing this every day. I'm seeking good advices. I'm sticking to good people, mature people who have no bad intention. They have nothing to do with my business, nothing, but they are good company. I can knock them, I can talk to them, I feel better. Good advices, what should I do as career and everything. So being around positive people make a lot of bring a lot of changes, and it matters a lot, right? So seek, whatever makes you relaxed. Let's say you seek validation from God. You want to pray. If it makes you happy, man, definitely it will. If you ask from God, he will give you. But ultimately you have to find what are the toxicity in your life and what are the things you need to change. Take the responsibility for it, and then work better in future. Next relationship, next friendship, next work, you try to upgrade yourself. I think that's the whole purpose of life. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching, guys, and I love you. Thank you so much for listening and watching the videos. Someone said I let your video go. I don't watch it, but I let the ads play so you can earn few dollars from my viewership, and that means a lot. This kind of kindness is the reason why we're here, and I cannot ask for anything more than this kind of support. I don't want your money. I don't want you to send me like, hey, someone asked me, bro, if you're going through difficult times, you can ask me, I can send you some funding and stuff. I'm like, no. Just because he said that or someone said that, I have one last example. I have one member in my group. Uh, I just will mention her name. I always say her name. Her name is Lisa. I feel blessed when I have Lisa, Victor, Ahnaf, Tamid Bhai, Shoikat Bhai, so many this our group members, and they are always there. Like invisible. They are there. They don't live around me. I don't see them every day. But whenever I'm down, I see they always support me in such ways, like literally, like uh, they shower you with love, support, care, and they say if you need to talk, like my brothers and my friends, I even though I don't need it sometimes, but it makes me feel good. I feel like I'm blessed with good friends, good company. It's very important to have that, right? So these are the things. Count your blessings. Like say thanks to your Lord if you have such good company. So when I was talking about Lisa, and she always posts in my group, and she comments on what's the scent of the day, and then she always write in YouTube like this. I'm giving you the first viewership, man. Great hearts, great people, great hearts, and I really pray for her family, her children, her husband. I mean, we need good-hearted people, because we are not the most perfect people, but we can be better. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for your love, and enjoy the fragrance game. Don't get too angry if you don't like certain brands. Just let them go. Don't use them, and don't watch a reviewer if they really trigger you. Be happy. The whole purpose of fragrance is happiness. I always say that. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. Good night from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Bye bye.